What up? It's your boy, the Incredible Minute. Yes, I'm back at it again, and this is my discussion slash review of Dr. Stone episode 16 because it was absolutely wonderful, man. Yes, and if you haven't seen my Dr. Stone Ishigami Village theory, you should definitely go check that out. I'll link it in the description so you guys can check that out because some of what I said came true this episode, man, and I think it's absolutely wonderful. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I called it, so yes, man. And what actually happened that I called this episode is that I didn't know that they were going to actually see the world turn to stone, but I called the fact of them finding out that the world was going to be turned to stone, that the world turned to stone, and they realized that they couldn't stay in space. They had to go back to Earth because they'd eventually die up there because they'd run out of supplies, food, and everything. They had to go back to Earth. And the fun thing about that is that Byakuya, I think that's his name. Yeah, Byakuya, aka Senku's father, figured that out. And I love the fact, I mean, I called it in my theory video, so I'm over here overjoyed, man. I'm ecstatic. So this episode picked up right after last week's episode where we have Kohaku's father telling everyone and lifting up Senku's arm and saying that he's the new village leader of Ishigami Village. So with Ishigami Village, it kind of clicks in Senku's mind, and then we have Ruini tell him, "Yes, I know that you're Senku Ishigami or Ishigami Senku, whichever your preference, because her mother told her 100 tales, and that's how they found out about the gorillas and everything else from the 100 tales." And Senku was like, because the founder of Ishigami Village, and then he tells them that the founder of Ishigami Village, I know all of this because the founder of Ishigami Village is my father. Dude, I knew it was going to be boss, man. I knew it. So I called that. I called it 100%. Because they kind of look alike in the when you see the poster. So then we get and we dive into the episode, and we kind of see we see Lutsenko. We see Lutsenko, and he's and even at that age, you can tell that he's infatuated with science, man. Then his father was like, "Well, maybe the moon likes you." And he was like, "Nah, I don't have time for that. I got time for science." So Lutsenko was cool, man. So then we come in and we get introduced to his father, and his father's telling us and Senku that he wanted to be an astronaut, but he failed his astronaut's exam because he caught a cramp during the swimming section because they had to swim with their clothes on. So then that whole little time, we still see little Senku with little Taiju, and they're experimenting and all of everything that we found out about Senku, like when we learned about his past and stuff. We're seeing it, but we're kind of seeing it from like his father's perspective, or like behind his father. We're kind of seeing it like from like another perspective than when we saw it the first time. And I like that. I enjoyed that. But you guys know, if you've been a fan of my channel for a while now, you know that I love flashbacks over here, man. I think flashbacks are super important, and they're wonderful exposition for the characters, and I love a good flashback. So then we find out that Senku is tinkering with electrodes and stuff to help his father pass the astronaut's exam. He even sent him the request from another astronaut program. Dude, Senku's boss, but you gotta give Senku his credit. So he was making a suit to help his father pass the exam. And when his father was telling the people about it, he was like, "No, the suit didn't help. But it came from Senku, so it gave me the focus and determination that I needed to pass the exam when I came back. Because when I came back, I passed the exam." So next thing you know, then we see, and the funny thing is, we never saw his face the whole episode until he got on camera to talk to Senku and tell him that, if you're watching this, or if you're not, I'm going to space. And I love the fact that that's when we saw his face. Every other time, it was either blocked or it was cut off from the camera or anything, or like blocked by a ray of light. I love that. And then we didn't see it until he got on camera like that. And I love that fact. Then we go out of space. Now, in the shuttle, we see him and another dude. We don't know that anybody's else, and we don't know that anybody else is there. But from the poster, we know that there's 3 chicks and 3 dudes. So we didn't see anybody. So I expected the other chick to be on the space station already, but she was not. When the shuttle docked and they got off, both of the guys got off, which was Senku's father, and Byakuya and Shamil Volkov. But they're not the only ones that got off. I have to look up her name again. Lillian or Lynn or whatever, she got off as well. And she got off and she was like really rude. And I thought she was going to be like a jerk character. But that's what I get for assuming, because she turned out to be such a wonderful character. And looking at her, I was like, 100%. Kohaku and Ruini are descendants of her. They are descendants of Lynn, what's her name? Weinberg. Okay, so now, fun fact. I speculated that she is the descendant, Kohaku and Ruini are descendants of Lynn. Now, who would their father be? No. Would they have, she had to sleep with someone else. Then they had to have a daughter, and her daughter had Ruini and Kohaku. Okay, that's gonna be too much. I can't. That's got to be a totally different video. So then we find out that she is American, and I didn't expect that because she was speaking Japanese when she got on the shuttle, right? But then she started to sing in American, so that solidified to me that she was American, and she was a pop star or singer or whatever. Then we got her backstory, and we were just kind of just introduced to the characters like any other normal introduction thing. So we got introduced to all of the characters, and there's some cool people, and even the brown haired chick with the long ponytails, Connie. She's a fan of Lynn, so it was nice to see all that interaction and happening and everything. And then we had Shamil that was like, he was a nice dude, but he was kind of standoffish. He just kind of just really wanted to focus on his work because that's what we're here for. So, and the whole little thing taking place while they're on the shuttle, on the space station, Byakuya tries to get him to eat some noodles that him and Senku eats from one of their favorite spots. So he fixes up the food and he passes it to him, and he was like, But he's not even looking at that, dude. This is where I didn't even expect this to happen. He looks out the window, he sees the green light that we saw in the first episode when everything happened, and they're watching the whole Earth turn to stone. When that happens, they were just watching it because I didn't expect that to happen. I knew even in my theory video, I speculated that we're going to find out, but I didn't know that we're going to actually watch it happen. But watching it happen, it looked like, because we didn't see it that way at first, we saw it just happening from Senku and Taiju's perspective. It just wiped over them. But from here, it looked like something just dropped on the Earth and it just spread out all over the Earth. That's what it looked like. I'm not totally sure, but that's what it kind of looked like to me. But anyway, they watched it happen, and then they lost all communications. So they were trying to connect and find out what was happening and what was going on. They couldn't get anywhere. But the internet kicked back in. They were trying to see if anybody were tweeting or talking about it. Nobody was. Everybody stopped tweeting at the same time. Then, this is when it got fantastic, man. They checked the cameras. They hacked the cameras, and they found out that everyone had turned to stone. I don't know if they looked in a specific location, because at the same time we had the dude with the goatee. I can't remember his name. Okay, Yakov. We had the dude with the goatee saying that there's like 7 billion people on Earth. So why don't we just wait and see if someone will rescue us? And then Byakuya had the same thing that I said in my theory video. Dude, we can't stay in outer space. Eventually, we're going to run out of food. We got to go back to Earth. We got to go back. So, that's it. See, I told you guys I didn't want to toot my own horn, but I'm just saying. So, they had to go back to Earth, and that's where they founded Ishigami Village. Dude, that was so fantastic. And that's how the episode ended, with them saying they had to go back to Earth. Dude, I found it absolutely wonderful. And pretty much what I speculated was kind of spot on, point on, either way. Pretty much what I said was spot on, man, and I thought that was absolutely fantastic. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm just saying that was kind of epic, that what I called happened. So, yeah, man, that's all that happened. Now I'm super excited for next week's episode to find out how they're going to get back to Earth and how they establish Ishigami Village. And then I want to know more about the 100 Tales and what's happening and what's going on. Dude, this episode was so good, man. It was so good. And I'm still linking my theory video because I said some other stuff that I speculated as well. But dude, it was absolutely fantastic, man. I loved every single moment of it. This is your boy Dick Incredible. Don't forget to smash that like button till you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them. And subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. Peace out.